What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Brandon's Face, the podcast about a playlist. My name is Jonathan Beardsley. I am one half of your hosting duo. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, one of my best friends in the world, fellow music nerd and titular face of the podcast you're listening to, my buddy Brandon May. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing well, man. Good
Me
to hear your
too.
voice.
It's always good to hear your voice. It's been kind of an interesting week. I feel like covering this week to week is a lot better than month to month. We're picking up a lot more tracks than we did last year, and I'm really liking some of the deeper shit we're finding this year. How about you?
I agree, and I also think that with the end of the pandemic, artists aren't, I guess, as apprehensive to release music, so we're getting a lot more music, which I think is obviously great.
Yes, it keeps us talking, so I won't complain. If you're listening to this on YouTube, which I think is the only place you can listen to it as of now, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Brandon's Face Pod. You ready to get into this?
I'm ready, my man. Are you?
I am ready, eager as always. All right, so first up, we have a song you threw on here, 2 a.m. by Foles. Go for it.
Alrighty, my man. I'm really excited for this album. We've got some great album art. We've got some great sounds. These last couple of singles have just been fucking awesome, man. It's classic Foles. It's not anything out of the box for them, but I'm excited to hear the whole thing in context. All of these singles in the context of the album. I don't know when it releases yet, but what were your thoughts?
I thought it was a good track, very similar to Wake Me Up, upbeat indie rock with a nice groove to it. We'll see if this one inspires any fucking crazy remixes the way that song did, but I like this one. It had a nice groove to it. I'll keep an eye out for their release date whenever that drops. Moving on, we have a random one I kind of threw on here, Realize, an oral history of my first kiss featuring Zoe. Do you know anything about this group?
I have no idea about any of this music.
Yeah, so I had no idea who these guys were. I think I saw maybe on Pitchfork or something that they had released some new music. So I looked them up, and I really wasn't expecting like London electronic synth pop, but I'll take it. It's a pretty good track. Kind of reminds me of like Born Slippy by Underworld. I love songs with this specific vibe, like just talking over a good beat can work if it's done well like this. I looked into them a little bit, and it looks like this is their first single coming off of their upcoming album, which will be their first album in 7 years, I believe. And it's called
Wow.
Lad Ash, and it's scheduled to come out April 22nd. Did you like this one?
Yeah, I actually did enjoy this. It's a little chaotic, but I think it works. I think the monologue, I think it was at the end, is a little weird. But again, kind of like you said, I think it works. So
Yeah. Do you know the song Born Slippy by Underworld?
I have listened to Underworld before, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. I should never doubt you and your techno prowess, but yeah, it gave me vibes like that, and I
I
really
can see
fucking love
that.
that song.
As soon as you said that, I was like, that's I think that's why I liked the chaos so much, because I think it might have reminded me of it a little bit. Not by name,
Yeah.
so
Something very 90s about it.
yes. Yes.
All right. Next up, we have Omar Apollo, Invincible, featuring Daniel Caesar. I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this one.
Man, this is great. The percussion is just incredible. I love the atmosphere. It's really ethereal. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like his last few singles have all been pretty solid. He did announce, I think, an album title and release date, but I don't have it in front of me. I'm excited to hear it, but I'm not expecting like an album of the year candidate. But this was a pretty solid single in
This is
line
the
with what
second.
we've heard so far.
This is the second single off of this album, then, right? Because I think we
Second or
reviewed
third, I
one
think
last month.
he had that one with Kali Uchis that we
That's the
reviewed a
one.
month or two ago, and then I think he had one maybe even 5 or 6 months before that. So we'll see if all of those make the record. We'll definitely be covering that when it drops.
For sure. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Caroline Polachek, Billions and Long Road Home. So we reviewed her song Bunny is a Writer a few weeks ago. And both of us seemed to like it. So I figured I'd throw these on here when I saw she released some new music. Billions is kind of a fucking trip. Once again, really great production. Her voice just
Yes.
soars over this instrumental. instrumental. Sorry. It has like a really enchanting quality to it, similar to like Frou Frou or something, or maybe even like Above and Beyond. Her whole approach to singing and songwriting is just super creative. I really like it. Long Road Home is the B side on the vinyl she just released of Billions. I don't know if these are for an upcoming album. I think this is a newer version of an older song she did with OPN, who just recently produced a bulk of the Weeknd's Dawn FM album, and as he's also known for scoring movies like Uncut Gems and Good Times. I don't know if you knew that about him.
I did not. I also didn't watch Uncut Gems. I think we watched like five
That
minutes,
movie's
the first five
fucking
minutes.
stressful, dude. Oh my god,
That's why
it's
we
so
turned it off
goddamn
because there's
stressful.
just so much like
It's
like
great.
visceral anxiety in that movie. We were like, nah, I think we're good.
The Weekend is in a club in that movie, and since it's like specifically taking place, like I can't remember, it's like 2010 or 2012, he like had to like put a wig on of the dreads he used to have back, the pineapple dreads. That was
Iconic, bro.
yeah, yeah. It's another good song. Her voice is kind of used as more of an instrument in that one. I really like both of these. What do you think?
Okay, you know exactly what I like about specifically Long Road Home, and it's the strings. Big fan of
Yes.
those. I love strings where they kind of don't belong, but they also like sound good. She's got a good voice. She's got a good vibe, man. I enjoyed this, and I enjoyed the last song that you threw on from her. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. She seems to be pretty good, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's not something that I would typically seek out, but which is one of the reasons why I love this playlist because you know, you and I have very different tastes while sharing a lot of similarities between our tastes. And this is a perfect example of that because I would have never found Caroline Polachek without you throwing it on this playlist and I wouldn't have been able to enjoy it. So thanks, bro.
of course. Of course. All right. Moving on. We got Saweetie Closer featuring her. This one is a fucking, it's a bop, man. Like it's an undeniable bop, but it feels like a carbon copy of Say So by Doja Cat. And that song didn't feel particularly original either. So it's like a who cares type of situation. I think hers voice sounds fantastic on this. That's my main takeaway. What about you?
Yeah, this is just fun. It's bouncy. It's just pleasing to listen to, man. Her voice is great, obviously.
I agree.
Like, no, yeah.
We'll be hearing this, I'm sure, on the radio for months and years to come. So we'll reserve any kind words for now. Next up, oh my God, this one.
Why,
KC,
John?
I think.
Besides,
Okay,
besides the
you know
fact
why
that
I threw it
Gessa
on here. Okay,
threw it and produced it, just
I
why,
didn't
bro?
listen to it.
Okay.
So this is a song, KC, I think is how you pronounce his name. The song's called Okay. It's produced by Giselle Fulstein, who Brandon and I are both a fan of. The song is just audible dog shit. I'm really sorry for making you listen to it. What did you think of it?
So, you know, sometimes I'll shuffle this playlist. Sometimes I'll put it on from the start. Sometimes I'll just click on something just to listen to it again. And I think I hit shuffle randomly one of these days, and I had already written my notes for the song. I didn't need to hear it again. But it just came on for the first time as soon as I hit shuffle. And I was just like, man, I'm just like, all right. So good for Gesaffelstein, right? I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's whatever, like good for him, right? And it's actually the first time I've ever seen a production tag on Spotify, which I thought was pretty cool.
Not common.
No, it's not common. It's a bad song, but it's always, I guess, good to see. You know, Boys Noise does a lot of hip hop production in his spare time, but I think he's really choosy about what kind of hip hop production he does. Like he did that song with Snoop on Out of the Black, and then he's produced a ton of hip hop, and
Yeah.
I think he's really choosy, and I think that works out really well for him. I think I have a feeling if I let maybe this is wishful thinking. I hope Gesaffelstein did not have anything to do with the choice of this song that he was
Dude, he's
producing.
in the music video in
Oh
full Giselle
no!
Fulstein body armor outfit.
Oh
This
no!
was a highly promoted track on social media between him and this KC guy. Uh, we are just not the demographic. I feel like a bass drop somewhere might have helped this song. Like I was waiting for it to get there. I was like, if I can just get to the banger part of the song, maybe it's tolerable. It never came.
That describes exactly how I felt about Martin Garrix's Animals, because it's just, the beat drop isn't a drop; it's just nothing. Um, it's funny, man. So I work with people, and they'll bump music all the time, right? And sometimes people will open a door and it'll be like way too loud, but like a lot of the times they're bumping like this new rap, and I there's a lot of great new rap out there, right? Like you and I have reviewed a ton of it,
Mhm.
but none of it sounds like this. And this is a very Young Thug kind of. We're gonna take everything that's bad about what Lil Wayne started and just keep making it worse, sort of sound. And yeah, man, I'm just not into it, dude. Tons of people are though, and I just don't see the appeal.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I did. Am I missing out on something? I'm not, but
No,
you know what I'm
we're
saying?
in the minority here. We are definitely in the minority here. This definitely is the type of music that's taking over everything and is what the generation that came after us is gravitating towards more. And I don't know, man.
But
It's
look, man, we're old, but we're not old. We're in our 30s, and I'm hip, like I don't
are
know.
you, if you use the word hip, are you hip, friend?
So I see you got my joke. No, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm just missing out on it. That Simpsons meme where it's the old man yelling
Yeah,
at the
it'll
cloud,
happen to
and
you too.
well, there's a bunch of them. I was referencing the newspaper where
Oh,
old man yells
gotcha.
at cloud, and it's like I'm not trying to yell at this cloud. I'm not this old man just beating down on this. I just feel like it's. I don't know. We've already spent too much time on this. Let's move forward.
No, I want to do another 10 minutes on this Simpsons meme. All right. So next up we have Jack White, Fear of the Dawn. I told you I was hoping Jack White would release more songs like Taking Me Back. Wish granted. This fucking rocks. I know it's a super middle-aged white dad thing to say something rocks, but it's true. It rocks. I love this. How do you feel about it?
This out the is isn't he like isn't he putting out like two albums?
Yes, I think everything we've heard so far is going to be off of the first.
Well, whatever is going to happen is going to be fucking awesome, man. So I'm not mad at
Yeah,
that.
I agree. Taking Me Back and this song are both fucking insanely good, like insanely good. Um, he released that song Selfish, which was a little slower, and I think will feel a lot better within the full context of the album, but that one didn't hit me on the first listen the way these two did, but I am fucking stoked. I don't think that album's drop until like spring or summer sometime, so we got a ways to go still.
Well, I'm excited for it, and Jack White is always hit or miss with me. So I've liked all three of the singles we've gotten so far. So I'm here for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. I'm very interested to see how you received this next edition. So, Orville Peck Bronco Chapter One. Before I tell you even why I added this, I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so I'm gonna surprise the shit out of you right now, John. I fucking loved this. I've listened to this EP like 6 times. Like it's been in my daily rotation since we threw it on the playlist. I was not expecting to like it. I've heard Orville Peck in all of the country blogs, and people are talking about how great he is, and I'm just I'm not a country guy, or at least a modern country guy, right? Throwing some
Mhm.
Marty Robbins, I'm down for it. Some old Willie Nelson, let's go. But I got major Tiger Army vibes from this EP, from this guy's voice. It's not just his voice though; it's also the drums and the percussion and the way. I don't know. I really enjoyed this, man. The drums, I guess, were just taking me back, man. I, again, usually don't like the country, but This is great, man.
It's a retro style of country, which is why I think you and I both like it. It's very much reminiscent of the Johnny Cash and Garth Brooks era.
Yeah,
Um,
it's Marty Robbins, Willie Nelson, man. Those are my two. When I want to listen to country, it's Marty Robbins and Willie Nelson, and it's their old shit, like the
yeah,
'60s and '70s
yeah.
shit.
This isn't like Keith Urban shit.
Quick
Pretty much
question
is
for you:
what you're
Do
saying.
you know if New Balance sells cowboy boots?
God damn it, Brandon. I hope they do, and I want to see you in them one day.
They don't. I looked.
uh, so my road to finding him is similar to yours. Just a bunch of I kept seeing his name just with a bunch of friends of mine. Kept posting about him. One of my best friends actually posts about him quite frequently, and he's a big fan of his. He hosted an episode, I think, of a show on Netflix too that I saw. Maybe it was that pop one we watched. I can't remember. But anyways, I've heard a few of his older songs. Like I remember checking him out a few months ago when everyone started posting about him, and I got the vibe, and I was like, he's definitely more old school, not modern country, not like whatever commercial country has become. It's almost rap music now. It's fucking weird at times.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, I really like this. Come On Baby Cry sounds like it was fucking made for a Tarantino movie. His voice just it the country aspect of it is what I thought it would be, but the like dynamic range of his voice took me for surprise. Like he has a really good falsetto and he can just carry a note way better than I was anticipating. He's much more than just a mask and a gimmick for sure. This is the EP that's kind of teasing his album Bronco coming out, which I think will be our first country review ever. So that should be fun.
If you have not heard, and I forget the album name by heart right now, but if you have not heard, it's Marty Robbins. What's it called? It's called something. It's very famous. It's Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs. Have you heard this album?
No,
All
I
right,
have not.
I'm gonna throw it on next after we delete it. It was
Yeah,
released in
do it right after this.
1959, and it's my favorite country album.
For sure. I am excited to hear it.
It's a good one, and it kind of reminded me a little bit. This Orville Peck really did remind me of it, in an instrumental kind of way. But again, this dude's voice sounds like Tiger Army. I was actually really excited to talk to you about this because I know you almost threw it on as kind of like as almost a joke, but then I have a feeling that we both listened to it and we're like, oh my god, this is great.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how it felt. Like the two middle tracks, I don't really go back to as much as the first track and the last track, but for country music, I'm always surprised that I'm still listening to it. It's good, man. I think it's won us both over in a very unexpected but pleasant way. You
Nice.
ready to move on?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we got some new music from Mary J. Blige, who just performed at the Super Bowl. I added two songs. So I added Here With Me featuring Anderson Paak, which I think is just a nice laid back, soulful song. Anderson Paak's verse is good. He's kind of just coasting right now. Like he's I don't think we're realizing how good he really is. Mary's voice still sounds great. The instrumental's good, has a very 90s feel to it. But the reason I didn't add the Usher one at first or anything else from this album is because I didn't realize that it was a new album. I thought it was just a single that had dropped. So I went and skimmed it. It's all pretty good. I didn't feel necessary to cover the entire thing, but I'm a huge Usher fanboy. He's my favorite R&B artist of all time. Confessions is my favorite R&B album of all time.
Let it
And
burn, John. Let it burn.
I I do every day. So of course I added it as one does when they see an Usher feature. Very solid track between two legends. They both still sound great. It won't be a hit, but I wasn't disappointed by it. What did you think of these two?
So I've never been a huge Mary J. Blige fan, as I'm assuming you already knew about me. But so let's talk about Here With Me. Here With Me sounds like an Anderson Paak song with Mary J. Blige featuring, and I wasn't mad at that at all.
Fair
I
enough.
think both of their voices are great, and I might disagree with you, man. I think I know how good Anderson Paak is, and every time I throw on like any of his work, I'm all well. Maybe you're right then, because every time I throw on some of his work, I go, wow. You know, like it's just
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good, man. Um, I do think that Mary J. Blige was a little weird for the sports game. How was the game, by the way? Was that good?
The game was good. Yeah. The game was
Great.
actually really good. Came down to the last play. Did you catch the halftime show?
I watched it after the fact and then immediately threw on the 2012 Coachella Snoop Dogg and Dre performance because it really was just a 10-year anniversary of that show,
All
plus
right, no
Mary J.
disrespect to Mary, but I would much rather hear what you thought of the halftime show.
I think that it is incredibly offensive to have Drake fake mix and fake piano. Everything other than that, I thought it was fun, man. But again, it just reminded me of the legendary show that I saw in 2012. So my wife and I
Yes,
just immediately threw that
obviously,
whole YouTube, just immediately had to watch the whole thing. So
you have an unfair advantage in the fact that you've seen their full festival performance. This is always going to be a sub 15-minute version of that. Even if you
oh
go back
yeah,
and watch the Beyonce or the Michael Jackson one and you watch a full concert of theirs, of course it's going to pale in comparison.
no, of course.
Um, but I feel like for what it was very surface level nostalgia, like very easy to get away with. Kind of weird to see like this cycle of kids who used to get yelled at for buying doggy style. Now their parents are like, oh, doesn't Snoop so good in his cornflower blue sweater, like it I think we all wanted more Kendrick, that
Yeah,
was the only like kind of thing. Them putting 50 Cent upside down was just fucking hilarious. I want to know
awesome,
how
just
long he
amazing.
was like that.
You can tell by how red he was that he was up there for at least 30, maybe 45 seconds. But no, man, I enjoyed the show. And it was
It was big for hip hop.
for sure, bro. And I think Snoop finally realized his dream of cripping over the city of LA, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I have never seen a video, and maybe one exists, of M and 50 doing Patiently Waiting live. That just seems like such a missed
Hmm.
opportunity at both of the times I've seen them.
Uh,
Not for the
maybe
not
up
for
in
the not for the halftime show. They can't do
no,
that for the
God
halftime.
no. Maybe Up in Smoke 2 or 2 if it ever
Yeah, that
happens.
lyrical content is not for the kids.
If you're listening to this, find the Up in Smoke tour DVD. It is a grail. They should go in every time capsule of like the early 2000s that there is. It's the best encapsulation of it.
No, I thought it was good. I thought Mary sounded great at the halftime too.
Me too. Me too. A lot
So
of artificial crowd noise.
well, I didn't hear that. Was it artificial?
The beginning when like Dre and them are coming out, it's art like yeah, I've watched too much pro wrestling to not tell when they're pumping in fake crowd noise. WWE does it constantly. But yeah, only at the beginning. It faded once the crowd got into it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I thought it was great, and I thought it was perfect for LA. If you're gonna do a Super Bowl in LA and you don't book Snoop and Dre, then you're kind of doing it wrong.
I
Um,
agree.
on the Usher feature on Need Love, is this
Mhm.
mix weird? Did you listen to it on decent speakers?
I did today, but I might have been just I think I was spaced out a little bit. I wasn't that tuned into it. It's kind of like a song every time it comes on and I'm waiting for Usher. Like his first few lines, I'm like, oh yeah, there's Usher. He sounds great. And then I just kind of like space out for the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I haven't picked that up, but I'll listen for that next time. I'm sure I'll check this track out at least once more.
The mix is a little weird. I think I liked Here With Me better, but it's always good to hear Usher.
I agree. I agree. So that track actually ties into this one a little bit, which is Diplo featuring Miguel, Don't Forget My Love. I am not a Diplo fan at all. I'm a huge Miguel fan, but the only reason I added this was because Diplo produced Climax, which is one of my favorite Usher songs of like the last decade. And I felt like there was a 1 in 100 chance that this was going to be even like close to that good. And it's not. It's pretty generic and it sounds pretty much how you'd expect it to. No chances really taken here. It's not a bad song, but not something I'm going to revisit. What did you think about it?
This is going to be played at every festival from now until the end of the year. and
You
then
think so?
and then it'll be forgotten. Yeah, dude, it's a
Yeah.
festival banger,
Well,
bro.
that mostly because Diplo plays every festival.
Well, I mean, I didn't hate it. It was actually reminded me a little bit of Cascade's Automatic album, that kind of sound, but it is generic. Miguel's voice
Yeah,
sounds good.
I hate that album. We'll talk about that another day.
We definitely will.
Is that the album I'm thinking of? What's the one after Fire and Ice?
I think that is. It's not Automatic. That's Atmosphere. I don't
Oh,
like
okay.
Atmosphere. Automatic's
Atmosphere is
good.
the one I hate.
Automatic
Atmosphere made me tune out of him for like 4 years, which is probably why I missed Automatic. I'll
Automatic
check
is
that
the
out.
one with Never Sleep Alone and
Oh,
Disarm Me.
okay. Yeah, for sure. Great songs.
Yeah.
Great songs. All right, we'll revisit that another day because I'm sure he'll release a new song. We got another one coming up. Snoop Dogg Conflicted featuring Nas. So Snoop released a new album. I think Hit Boy did a bulk of the production. It's weird hearing him
Good for Hit Boy.
switch from doing like these East Coast style albums to a West Coast style album. It's even weirder hearing a 90s East Coast rapper on a modern West Coast beat with Snoop. But I think it works. It's a fucking fun track. What did you think of it?
I think it only works because Nas is a chameleon.
Yes.
He
Yes,
can
I agree.
he can just flow over anything, bro.
Yeah, yeah. He's unmatched when it comes to adaptability.
Did you listen to the whole album? I haven't given it a listen yet.
No, I've caught a few snippets on Twitter of a few songs other than this one, but this was the only one that really caught my eye.
This is pretty good, man. Two legends.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Yeah, exactly. It is what you'd think it is, which for it to live up to the billing on just reputation alone is pretty solid, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
yeah, legends.
You ready to move on to one I know you're really excited to talk about? We got, I
Yep.
think it's Fivio, Fivey, I don't know. Fivio Foreign, City of Gods with Kanye West and Alicia Keys.
I'm gonna jump
This is
in.
just off. Yeah, no, go for it. Yeah, I was gonna
so
say
many
I'm gonna
things
clear
wrong
the
with
runway
this.
for you. I'm
There's
gonna clear the runway.
There's so many things wrong with this.
Go.
Number one, New York is not the city of gods. I don't know who wrote that, but it's the city of not gods. Kanye, it was funny. The first line about Pete Davidson was funny, but at this point, it's like, bro, can you just relax and not roll up to 30 Rock and make threatening things? Alicia sounds good for what it is, but it's just a canned chorus that she that she sings over. Who the fuck is Fivio Foreign? Other than that, it was pretty well. It was pretty well produced.
So I love how fast you blacked out Donda. So he's on Off the Grid on Donda, which was one of like the only good songs on it, and he had like one of the only legible verses on the whole fucking album. And this is literally the same song. It's just the same exact beat with the fucking Alicia Keys hook added to it. I'm not a fan of it. I want to hear him on something other than a modern Kanye beat because it's just not doing it for me. But he seems to be a talented dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Kanye's just. I want to say that it's all marketing for his new album, but he's really just digging himself a hole here, bro.
Oh, and that shit is not coming out February 22nd. Just
No,
so
of
everyone
course
is
it's
fully
not.
aware of
But
that.
it's so funny, man. I've been saying it for years and years and years. Back when he released Poopity Scoop, I was like, watch. He's going to drop a couple pairs of Yeezys, and then he's going to drop the album late. And then it happened. And then the same shit happens right now. Bunch of drama happens. Then he drops a new pair of Yeezys. Now, and then he confirmed an album. It just
never-ending
stinks,
cycle,
man.
man.
It just stinks of collusion here, bro. Like Pete's got to be in on this, right? Like he's probably like, yeah, I'll help you market your album in your shoes, bro.
I don't think we should care. I think we
I
need to
don't.
not think about this as much as possible.
I don't know. I watch SNL and I like Kanye, and so it bothers me when he does this. But let's move on.
Okay. You like Kanye or you like Pete?
I like old Kanye.
Yes.
I like
we all
old
like-
Kanye's music.
I missed the old kind. All right. Okay, we got one you threw on here. Felix Cartal, Nothing Comes Easy with Elohim. Go for it.
Man, I just love Elohim, man. I fucking love this. She's just got this vibe that's, I don't know, man. It speaks to me. And she's rumored to be a potential for the Do Lab at Coachella. She's doing a tour of just DJ sets, which I think is both out of her wheelhouse and very interesting. So, yeah, man, I threw it on because I think I just really, really like Elohim. I don't know much about Felix Cartal.
That's pretty fucking cool, honestly. I think the Do Lab would be an interesting setting for one of her sets. I don't know anything about Felix Cartal. It's a pretty good track. Nothing like really stood out about it other than her voice, which always sounds great over these types of tracks, but I liked it.
Cool, man.
All right. Next up, we got another one from Rex Orange County. This is his second single off his upcoming album titled Who Cares? I still don't think we have a release date for this, but it's got to be close. He's been posting like pictures of the vinyl, like packaging and stuff online. So it's
Nice.
definitely pressed and ready to go. This track has a lot of the same qualities the first did. It's upbeat, breezy, really carefree. What did you think about it?
If the album is titled "Who Cares," the answer is me. Apparently, those strings, the confidence, the trailing vocals, it just fit. They just fit perfectly with these instrumentals. I loved this, man.
Did you
I'm
get a chance to check out those three songs of his I told you
I
to throw on
I
your listen to next
I
yet?
have not. My listen to next is I
Okay.
think 73 hours long at this point.
That
I think I
abyss,
got to clean
yes.
it up, but
Yeah, you might need to clean that up a little bit. But I'm glad
oh
you're
man,
enjoying his new music.
yeah, I dig
We'll
it.
definitely throw the new album on when that drops. I'm excited. And to hear how Tyler works into that album. That should be interesting for the Flower Boy fans.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, next up. Oh shit. This one, dear God, we've had just some incredible songs drop this year already, and this one is near the top. Vince Staples' Magic, produced by Mustard. Vince's last few projects have felt very like of the moment. They were both put together by fairly small groups of producers in a relatively short amount of time. And we haven't heard him really seek out and work with a lot of like the top hit makers in the game, like Mustard, in a while. So hearing him do his thing over a Mustard beat like this is exactly what the song tells you it is. It's fucking magic. This is the first single off of his next album, Ramona Park Broke My Heart, which I think is due out around April, but doesn't have an exact date yet.
Vince or Mustard?
Vince.
Oh, dope.
Vince, yes. He talked about this album title last year. He said he was going to drop two last year, but it never ended up happening. We'll see if this one drops. He's currently on tour, which I will be seeing him in a few months, but yeah, I'm very, very, very excited for this one. This album just shot like straight to the top of my most anticipated. What did you think of this song?
Um, Absolutely incredible. It's just fantastic. They killed it. They both killed it on this one. You know, I once had a festival scheduling conflict, and I had to choose between Mustard or Bob Moses. And I don't regret choosing Bob Moses, but I know that I missed a giant party. So
You definitely missed a party, but I think especially for your taste, you chose correct,
I
Brandon.
think so too.
So next up we have this one's kind of an interesting one. Vic Mensa Vino Valentino EP, a little Valentine's Day EP drop. Do you know anything about Vic Mensa?
I do not, sir. No.
So he kind of appeared on the scene as I don't even know how, just he was kind of like a, I guess chameleon is a way to put it with him as well. He did a song with Skrillex called You Mad, like I want to say 2015, 2016. And then he released his first EP around 2016 called There's a Lot Going On. It was kind of weird, a little all over the place. He definitely showed the talent for rapping, but it also showed definitely sides of his music that I knew I wouldn't be a fan of if he emphasized those going forward. And then he followed that up with an album called The Autobiography in 2017 that I fucking love. It's great. It's his most just straightforward rap album to date. Still got a lot of the weird personality shit of his, but it's the most complete package, I would say. And since then, he's kind of done, I think maybe a new album or two, but it's mostly been EPs, I think. Um, I think the autobiography was his last actual album, and he did this thing called 93 Punks. It's like a full band thing that was absolutely fucking terrible. But the way a lot of other people found him was when Kanye did SNL years and years and years ago during the St. Pablo rollout, like months before that had even dropped. He did the song Wolves from it with Sia and Vic Mensa, and ended up removing Vic Mensa's his verse from the album. And it was so well received on SNL that a bunch of people like blew Kanye up. And that was one of the changes made in the infamous like lawsuit of Kanye changing his album after it came out, because Pablo was the first one that happened with, and that was one of the songs. And he also tweeted, "I'm a fix wolves," which was just hilarious because like late night shows were like, is he actually going to fix the animal wolves? Like they had no idea what he was talking about. It's fucking great. Um, anyway, so Vic Mensa has been kind of all up and down, and you never really know what to expect from him. I definitely wasn't expecting an R&B forward EP, even though I know he could sing. This was an interesting one. I kind of like it the more I listen to it, but I'm not in love with it. I like that he uses the U in the song titles the way Usher did on 8701. That's a very iconic thing and kind of a nice homage. The songs have a very rap sing style, similar to like Bryson Tiller or Black or Six Lack, as you would say. But I'm interested to see how you receive this one.
Honestly, man, this is okay. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. Just kind
Yeah,
of right in the middle for me.
it's weird. The first song's very like almost gospely. The second song's very like twista 90s R&B. It's a little all over the place, but I hope he does explore the R&B side of his music more, but maybe a little more thought through than this EP.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, next up we got another Valentine's Day drop. Silk Sonic hit us with a cover of what was the name of the song? Love Train by Con Funk Shun. I think this is a song from like the 70s or 80s. It's fucking fantastic. They killed this. What did you think of it?
I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it as much as an evening as most of the songs on an evening with Silk Sonic. So
You're crazy, dude. Bruno hits some insane notes on this song. Like it's good. This should have made the album if it wasn't a cover.
I will give you that Bruno Mars has killer pipes, so I
Yes.
can't really fault you there. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me as much as the rest of their music did. I don't know, maybe Vic Mensa put me in a weird mood because I think I only listened to this song once or twice, and I think I just kind of like
Yeah,
maybe
two
tuned out a
very
little
different
bit.
sides of R&B right
Yeah,
there. Vic
it just
Mensa
I don't
to
know.
Silk Sonic.
I don't
I
know.
can't blame you for that. And it's just a cover, which I tend to hate every cover you add. So I'm not going to knock you for not liking this. Uh, all right, next up, we got your boy, Ben Lucas Boyson, with a new one, Lux. How did you feel about this?
All right, so this one's a little weird. I
Yeah.
the first time I listened to it, I was like, "The fuck is this?" And then by the eighth time I had listened to it, I couldn't stop listening to it. So I don't know, man. This dude just has a way with music that just speaks to me, and I just can't help but love it. He's kind of like Adriatic and Bicep, but without the dance music portion of it. And I love how proggy it gets towards the middle of the song, where it just kind of switches up, and then all that bass hits. I don't know. I just like it.
Yeah, it was an interesting one.
It's
The
definitely
first time
different.
you showed me him, I liked the first few songs you showed me, but I've only listened to this one twice, so I'm still kind of in the what the fuck is this when I'm listening to it at times.
I can't blame you.
Uh, I don't think this is as far away from the Flume mixtape as you think it is, bud, but it's good. I enjoy it. It's his music's very cinematic. It's very weird. It feels like you're kind of transitioning into the afterlife at times or something. It's an interesting vibe, but I dig it.
You're telling me that a song made you feel like you were transitioning into the afterlife, and you're comparing that to Flume's old mixtape? Fuck out of here.
There was a JPEG Mafia song on that mixtape that was pretty good, Brandon. All right, we're gonna go on to another terrible cover. We got Death Cab for Cutie, Waiting for the Sunrise, which I think is an old Yoko Ono song, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think it is.
I hate this one. How did you feel about
Didn't
it?
like it.
Good. All right, moving on. We got Loon Fisticuffs featuring Tilly. We've been following Loon pretty closely for the past few months, which is Light's DJ, I guess, production, hard EDM side project. And it's really evolving into some good shit. This is maybe the most complete single I've heard from her so far. I just don't really know what the intent behind the project is. Is this like musical diversification, creative outlet, or is this something she's actually going to pursue and perform under?
I have no idea. All I know is that I've liked everything so far.
Same. It all fucking bangs, man. It all bangs. And I hate to be like Alice in Wonderland Res. Like this music doesn't really have a genre, you know? Like she's just making fucking bangers and it's really fucking good to hear.
Yeah, it's real good. So I think I've yet to hear a Loon song that I did not like.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what her goal is with all of this, but I enjoyed it. So
Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, moving on to goddamn another fantastic one. Dash Berlin, You Broke Me First extended mix because we're not children, of course.
correct.
And this is a fucking like shower of trance. Like you just bathe in this when it drops. Like I
My
was
notes
talking,
are literally trance. Period.
dude, Jesus Christ. Like I remember last month we were talking about his whatever the last song he released was, and I was
Oceans.
like, it just doesn't quite hit the same euphoric high. And he was like, oh yeah, motherfucker. Like Jesus Christ. I think what it is I just don't listen to trance anymore, so it doesn't like hook me the same way in terms of going back to it. But when I am listening to it, it is goddamn impressive.
Well, and
Uh,
I think that's indicative of like why we don't review a lot of new trance or like I'm not following a state of trance anymore. You know, like I
mhm.
it's just the greats at this point that I'm that we throw on the playlist because I still follow them on Spotify and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man. Wow, just trance. Like
Dude, fucking Armin Dash, Gareth, anytime you see them, throw it on. I'm all about it.
you know I will, sir.
All
Except for I
right.
stopped following Armin because his albums would show up on my release radar and it would just be just nothing but
Mixes.
non Armin music. And it's like, I don't like all of this, bro. Like,
Yeah, Armin's following him on like iTunes or Spotify is a nightmare. I will be the first to admit. I think he might have separated his Estate of Trance page, but I think that he still has a lot of mixes on his personal page.
I think that now that Spotify does podcasts, I think he was releasing all of these songs as an album under his own artist page, would, which I guess was, just a way to get people to listen to the music without actually hosting the podcast on Spotify. And I think he might actually
Mhm.
just host the podcast now. But yeah, I didn't like all of that. So
I miss those days of like finding a song in an old A State of Trance and just having like that 2 minute clip of it that's like
yep.
not even the beginning and end of the song and just being like, man, I hope this drops someday.
Yeah,
Oh man, those were the days. All
man.
right. Let's move on to the albums that we have for this month. We got a couple. First up, we got Ravina Asha's Awakening. This was one I threw on a few singles of a few weeks ago. We both, or I think I might have just thrown on Secret. That might have
I
been
think it
it.
was just
But a Vince
secret.
Staples feature was enough to make me throw an album on for sure. And so I'm just going to dive right in here. It's really
Do it.
hard not to be impressed with the ambition behind a concept album like this. The concept being a space princess from ancient Punjab on a journey of self discovery across different centuries. I love it when artists think outside of the box like this. I was immediately into the idea of this album because I'd never heard Hindi influence in R&B. A lot of the instrumental elements from that music lends itself well to the tempo and rhythm of R&B with like the wind instruments and the interesting percussive elements. we hear it perfected on a few tracks on this album. I feel like the first three do a really good job immersing you in the world that she's building. How much you enjoy this world will come down to personal preference, obviously, but I enjoyed my time with the album so far. It's not full of a bunch of hits, although Secret featuring Vince Staples is a certified classic, in my opinion. My only criticisms of the album are pretty minor. I think it falls into the trap of a lot of other modern R&B albums in that it's just a little too long. I understand the 13-minute meditative track that closes the album is what puts it over the hour mark, but it
Yep.
feels like it's running a little long even before that. Tracks like The Internet is Like Eating Plastic should have been cut, in my opinion. But overall, the album was a really fun listen with a few highs and a few lows, but it took a lot of chances stylistically, and I respect it. I gave it a 7 out of 10, and Secret was my favorite song. How did you feel?
I feel like the internet is like eating plastic could have been like an intro, if anything. Look, man, when I saw this album got thrown on the playlist, I thought, oh, another long-winded, hour-long R&B album. Let's see what
To
I
be
think.
friends with John, huh?
Let's see what I think. Boy, was I surprised, man. I actually was surprised at how well this album kept all of my attention, and I was pleasantly surprised, man. It's really fun. It's experimental. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's yeah, man, it's good. It's fun. There's some parts that aren't so fun, but it is, at the very least, it is adventurous. And from everything that I have heard in the R&B world, there's not much adventure there. There are formulas, and I don't think this follows many of them.
Yeah, R&B is a very vibe-based genre, and usually the vibe is one of three things, and very few of those things are like exotic, the way this would be described, I think. What did you rate it, and what was your favorite song?
I gave it a 6, and my standout was Secret.
Of course it was. All
That
right.
Vince feature is just great, man.
Dude, fantastic. I hope he plays that at the concert. Vince, if you're listening to this, please play it at the concert. He's been tweeting every day, like a location, usually a mall parking lot, and just giving away like 25 tickets every day and just taking pictures with people.
That's
It's pretty
fucking
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, he's funny though because like instead of doing one picture with everyone, like each person, he's doing just one big group picture. And it
Uh,
seems that to be people don't know what camera is his because everyone's looking different ways and he's always looking right at the camera. It's fucking hilarious,
that's
dude.
amazing.
I'll send you some of them.
Please.
All right, moving on. Goddamn. Spoon, Lucifer on the Sofa. This album is just fan fucking tastic. It's everything I was hoping it would be and more. I kept telling you that I didn't know if any of their albums could top Hot Thoughts, and I don't think this topped it for me, but I think this might have tied it. The album's great front to back. You can hear a lot of the influence from different groups in their sound: Arctic Monkeys, Queens of the Stone Age, Weezer, and so on, which all happen to be some of my favorite rock groups. So it's no wonder I'm a big fan of Spoon and this new album. This one's a no skips for me, but I think I definitely like some songs more than others. The Hardest Cut feels like a timeless classic to me already. Held is just an incredible fucking way to kick the album off and one of the best songs on the album. The Devil and Mr. Jones is terrific. We talked about Wild and My Babe when they dropped as singles. Both are great. The back half of the album has more deep cuts or a deep cut feel to it, but there's still some fucking gems in there like Satellite, and the self-titled finale to the album is just exquisite, man. It's beautiful. I'm a big fan of this album and I can't wait to listen to it more. I gave it an 8 out of 10. The Hardest Cut was my favorite song.
Okay, so I just need to let anybody know that's listening. We did not talk about this album prior to this episode, prior to recording this. John, my notes are almost identical to yours. My man, how is this not? How is Spoon not one of the biggest rock groups in the fucking world right now? Like
I don't know.
this is quality fucking music. All right, I really didn't think that they were going to be able to top Hot Thoughts, but here we are. There's Bowie moments, there's Beatles moments, they're all Spoon moments. Like fuck, man. It is long enough to enjoy. It's short enough to want more. No skips. I gave it a 9. I couldn't choose. Held, Hardest Cuts, On the Radio, Lucifer on the Sofa. They're all just fucking great songs. I will be listening to this song or to this album all fucking year.
Agreed, man. We're both in agreement. This one is rock album of the year to beat at this point.
The
It's
vinyl got
definitely.
delivered today.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Gonna be a good weekend for you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving on to the grand finale of our podcast this week, and maybe our podcast of all time if Brandon keeps making me listen to Alt J. I'm joking. I'm joking. So last up we have Alt J's new album, The Dream. And I'm not going to bury the lead. I did not hate this album as much as I thought I was going to,
I
Brandon.
knew it. I knew it.
Hey, hold on. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. I'm still not a fan. And probably won't be revisiting this one when the month's over, but I would be lying to you if I said it was a bad album and just bashed it. The singles are okay, but I thought the real standouts were Chicago and Philadelphia.
Yup.
Both of those tracks are really good and should have been the singles, in my opinion. They're creative, almost theatrical. The rest of the album is varying degrees of okay to me, but doesn't quite hit the same as those. I gave the album a 6 out of 10, and Philadelphia was my favorite.
Okay, so this is kind of exactly what I both wanted and expected from Alt J. I will agree with you that Philadelphia is just a monster song. Um, so coming from a fan of Alt J and an avid listener to all of their albums pretty consistently, I really like how they kind of took all of their stylistic choices from their previous albums and kind of put them all together here. I love it when bands do that. Yeah, this album is ethereal. It's difficult to understand, and it's beautifully rough around the edges. Get Better is just a gorgeous song. It is just beautiful, man. It brought me to tears. The singles they released work better in the context of an album, but I think you're right. I think the deep cuts are really where this album shines. So I actually listened to the album on vinyl today, and Get Better is when side A ends. Side B starts with Chicago, which is kind of a powerful thing because that build on Chicago is just, whew. It is.
Yeah,
It's just fucking awesome, man. The
really
percussion
good.
is also really good on Chicago. The way the vocals kind of play a secondary role on that song is, I think, really neat.
Mhm.
Philadelphia is just fucking amazing. Losing My Mind is pretty good, and I like how they took all the doom and gloom from the first all of the songs on this album and decided to do something happy for the last song with Powders. I absolutely loved this whole album, and I will be listening to this one all year also. So I actually gave it a 9 out of 10. There's no skips here. And Get Better is an easy standout of the album because of how hard it hit me. But musically, it's going to be Philadelphia.
Just flip the 9 upside down and you got the score right.
Nah,
But
man. The strings, the
I'm just kidding, dude.
experimentation, the instrumentation, just
I
the.
will agree. Get Better through Philadelphia. It's a good 3 song run. That's a strong peak of an album. I'll give him that.
You know, it's funny because after hearing the full album, I was like, there's no way John hates this like he thinks he's gonna.
You were right. You were right. You usually know, and that's why I trust you. And that's why when I don't like a song or two from an artist, I'm not discouraged. And I'm not like dreading you adding more. I know eventually I'll see what you see. It just takes time.
Yeah, it's the same with me and King Cruel.
Yes, yes, or just 2 hour R&B albums.
Which I've liked a few of, man. Hers album
No,
was really
yeah.
good, bro.
I mean, I think you and I have rated most of those the same. So
Yep.
I don't like about those what you don't like about those. They're kind of meandering at times. So that was our last album to cover. Let's wrap this up with what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, man, I was really looking forward to Spoon and Alt J, and they really fucking delivered. I am at this point looking forward to Alan Raymond. I'm really looking forward to more
Yes.
Orville Peck. Who would have thought I would have said that? And yeah, man, I think we're gonna get some good music this year. I am looking forward to some potential metal this year. I've yet to find a band that I know and am excited about releasing new music. I've heard rumors about Mudvayne, but none of that's really valid. So yeah, man. What about
That
you?
would be interesting. In terms of the metal side of things, I'd be interested in a new Devil Wears Prada project. With this When We Were Young festival, I'm really hoping we get some like new Pierce the Veil or something. I know they've been going through a lot of lineup changes, but are still technically an active band, and all of their albums are great.
I
So I
think we're
really
getting
want to
new
hear them
Silverstein
again.
this year. Now that you mentioned We Were Young Fest.
Interesting. Okay. So we have some scene metal to look forward to, but metal is still kind of absent. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Here's some stuff to look forward to. I think this Friday we have Brood's album Space Island. That should be
Ooh.
fun. Later this month we got Conway the Machine's album God Doesn't Make Mistakes, and then early next month Benny's EP, the Lychee EP. Klangsoft's new Ocean View EP will be coming out. And about a month from now, we got Alan Raymond, Roadhouse 2, and Charlie XCX Crash. I'll be
Nice.
adding to this list as I see more, but that's what we have right now to look forward to.
Well, I think it's going to be a good year, my man. I think it's already shaping up to be a good year. We're only halfway through February, and we've got some fucking bangers. I will actually be after this podcast. I thought to myself, wow, I haven't even started my 2022 albums of the year playlist yet, and well, I think I have to now that I've got a couple. Now that I've got a couple that I know we're going to make it. So.
Oh, I already got mine going. I'll send you it so you can lurk it.
All right. Well, this was fun, man, and we'll see you all next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.